no.
So I have sucked at recording all week, and so I just have to find ways to do this better. But I don't know, this week was really hard for me. Today specifically, it is Wednesday, and outside, you know, with the whole wildfires in Canada going on, it just smelled like burning. It smelled like burning outside. And the air quality is terrible. So I don't know, whoever's watching, I don't know where y'all watching from, but here in Philly is terrible. And yeah, but today my feelings or feeling, and honestly, I don't know, friends. I have no idea how to even begin to put into words the feelings that I have, because I feel like with this, so of course it's about a guy, but I feel like one minute I want to leave it alone, and then the next I'm like faced with like, just express yourself, tell them how you feel. And then in my mind I'm like, it doesn't matter, it does matter, it doesn't matter, it does matter. And I hate that I'm so indecisive sometimes with how, like, sorting through my emotions in order to make a decision. I don't know if anybody else goes through that, but and I feel like that's another reason why I want to, like, it's so necessary to get closer to God, because we as humans and our minds and the things that influence us, sometimes it's not right. And sometimes the moves that we make are not right. Sometimes we do things too quick. Sometimes we do things too slow. Sometimes God says ASAP, and then we wait 2 months. So it's like, I just feel like having a relationship with God is necessary, especially when you're indecisive about things. But and 2, it's important to do things like praying to God before you do stuff is so important, because then you do stuff and pray to God like, oh God, I pray that the decision that I already made, that I done planned out for months and finally did it, I pray that it works out. Like, did you include God when you was in your planning stage? And God probably was in your ear like, hello, no, I said no. And you were like, I'm gonna do it. It sounds great. But I feel like that's where I'm at right now. So in the beginning, I did not have any like pause about the situation. And I feel like normally when I know something isn't going to work out, I feel like the Holy Spirit gives me like a pause to like, okay, you don't jump in this, really be cautious, or like it's not for you. And I see a sign that, you know, it's not for me. But I didn't get that. And it could just be because maybe I was ignoring the Holy Spirit, or maybe we're meant to be friends and not in a relationship. But I started talking to this guy, and I thought things were going well. And this is the advice I'm going to give. And hopefully whoever is going through this right now takes this advice. But do not date your coworkers. Do not date your coworkers. Do not. If you can trust them and you know that you can trust them, then maybe move forward. But like, if you're just meeting someone, you have to get to know them and then build trust. Because if there's no trust, you don't know if they're going back and telling your coworkers about what's going on between you. I thought he was attractive. He thought I was attractive. Apparently he was going to people telling them that I'm attractive, I guess, to like have them hook us up or something. I don't know. But we got introduced, and things were fine. He seemed like a really shy person, which is okay. Like, I don't know. I would rather date someone who is like quiet, reserved, shy to themselves, because I know like that. I feel like those are the types of people that you can trust. And so going into the situation, I don't want to call it a situation because it's not a situation. Well, it's a situation now because my overthinking has made it a situation. But my overthinking really wasn't doing anything at this point. And so we exchanged we got introduced, we exchanged numbers, everything was fine. We went on our first date. Cool. I realized that maybe he's confiding in one of our coworkers, because I guess she was like comfortable enough to come to me, because we were having like an off day, and I was really going through like my own personal stuff. But instead of him asking me what's going on with me, he like took a step back and was like, I guess he talked to our mutual coworker, and she's not really, well, I don't know. She might be one of those that runs her mouth. But I feel like if we say like, please don't, she'll be like, okay, I don't know. But anyway, so he told her, he was like, you know, Sydney's acting like she's take a step back from me. I haven't really talked to her today, or whatever. So she comes up to me, and it's my lunchtime, and I guess she went to lunch before I did. So she walks up to me, and she's like, hey, why are you being mean to my friend? And I'm like, what? I'm like, what are you talking about? And my coworker friend was with me at the time, and she was like more offended than I was. But I was like, what do you mean? Why are you being mean to my friend? And so, I just simply told her like, whatever's going on between me and him is none of your business. And so she was like, oh, okay, like just talk to him or whatever. And I'm like, that's weird. So I had a conversation with him, and he was like, oh no, I didn't tell her anything or whatever. And I'm like, but you did, because we were having an off day. Somebody else found their way to me to tell me to stop being mean to you, when we simply just didn't talk. We didn't talk. Like, it was consistent talking for like a couple weeks, and we just didn't talk that day. And so we did talk, but it was like not as consistent as it usually is. And so instead of asking me, you go to somebody else, right? Don't do that. And so, of course, I'm like irritated and I'm upset, and I'm expressing like, hey, like, that's a problem for me. Can you not do that? Can you not tell our coworkers? Like, if this is us, this is between us. So if you have a problem with me or something is going on and you want to know about it, come to me. And so he claimed he understood. It happened 2 more times. And now, granted, I just don't know, because I feel like because I haven't dated in 5 years, like seriously dated, seriously liked somebody, and because at this point I did like him, but seriously liking somebody, for me, it was nothing to be like, listen, especially after the stuff that I've been through, because I don't want me to not say something and then it continued to be a problem, and it gets built up, and now we're having a blow up knockout fight because I've been holding all of this in and not telling you about it. So I didn't want that, because that's what I'm used to. And so I was being, upfront and direct with him. Apparently that was me being, like, he's not used to, like, women being direct with him. So it was kind of like, whoa, like, and so, but I think too, because it was like negative, like, please stop doing that. I know you feel like you can trust this person, but I'm telling you, she's coming to me telling me stuff that you're saying, like, your concerns and things like that. Maybe she thinks you're confiding in her, or maybe you think you're confiding in her, but clearly if she's coming back to me, like, trying to give me advice, there's nothing wrong with that. But, like, we also work together. So if something is going on and you talk to her before you talk to me, that's a problem, right? I feel like we were both wrong. And I want to take accountability for how I might have made him feel in that, to make it, maybe something I was giving off made him not want to be open and express how he was feeling to me. Because, I mean, I don't know. It was like 2 months we were talking. So who knows? But we stopped talking, and then not too long after that we started talking again. And it was like, we're just going to be friends. It's just going to be friends. It's just going to be friends. That's all. It's going to be friends. We just need to build up a friendship first. We stopped talking that time because I felt like at that point he was doing everything right. But I felt like he was trying to, like, rush into a relationship because he had this mindset of, like, I want a wife. And there's nothing wrong with being like, goal oriented, where you're like, I'm dating with a purpose. But, like, if we're a couple months in and I'm not even sure yet, and I feel like all our dates are like me answering questions to an interview, like, it wasn't giving what it was supposed to give for me. And so I told him, it feels like you're trying to fit me into, like, this wife box. You don't know my favorite color. You don't know my middle name. You don't know what happened in my childhood. You know nothing about me to even know if I will be a good mom or wife or anything, but you just know marriage because I'm a Christian woman. I have some type of relationship with the Lord, because you had no idea what it was. But, I have my own place. I seem to be responsible. That's the bare minimum. I mean, a relationship with God is really important. But I feel like it was like the values part, but it was like me as a person, I could have been anybody, if that makes sense. Like, we had the same values, but I could have been anybody. You could have the same values with somebody else, and it could be them in your mind, because you'll have the same values. So, you have these boxes that are checked off, like, oh, she's wife material, she's wife material, she's wife material because this and that. But you have no idea who I am, because all of our conversations at that point, because we didn't really have that much time together other than, like, lunchtime. It was just like surface, how was your day, small stuff going on in your life at the time type of things, right? And I feel like it was like that because I expressed, hey, just friends. Like, we don't have to do that right now. It doesn't have to be like, I don't even know what words to use, but, like, it doesn't have to be, like, forced. You don't have to jam it in, like, be my friend first, please. We sort of, like, fizzled out. But I still have feelings. Apparently he still had feelings. But while I'm taking a break, I guess he hops on dating apps, right? Which is, do your thing. But don't do your thing. Don't. And so one of our coworkers, I confided in her. It's a different coworker. I confided in her, and she said that she had talked to him just in, like, a passing conversation, and he was open to being friends or something like that, and he wanted to talk to me. So I was like, interesting. And so I went to his office, and I So I walked up to him and I was like, listen, I said, I'm hearing around the town that you want to be friends, and I feel like we need to have a conversation. If, you know, because there are still feelings there for me. And yeah, so we had a talk. That's when I found out that apparently shortly after we stopped talking, he started talking to somebody else. But they, she lives in a whole nother state, and I don't know. They, one minute that's his girlfriend, and then the next it's, they're just friends right now. They're taking it slow or something. And so it was very confusing for me, because you want to be friends, but I have feelings for you, and I'm letting you know that I have feelings for you, but I also want to be respectful of what you got going on. But then at the same time, you're flirting with me, but you don't want to be flirty with me, but you respect my feelings. So it's a lot of confusion. If, you know, it's a lot of confusion. And I just feel like no amount of having a conversation is going to solve the problem that we have. And I feel like this might be one of those situations where I just have to chalk it up as a loss and move on. And another part of me is like, fight for it. But I feel like the fight for it part is because of my my upbringing, me dealing with like rejection. So it's like I don't want to have to sit with myself once again after this person played with my feelings, or me feeling like they played with my feelings, or me feeling like I didn't mean anything to them, or me dealing with rejection. And I mostly feel like I signed myself up for this because I was confusing. Because I was confused in my own feelings and my own thoughts about the situation, and I feel like he was confused as well, because again, he was one of them shy type, quiet, you know, not really expressing feelings and things like that. So it just seemed like we started out fine, but then as time progressed, it just became like bigger balls of confusion. And then now I'm trying to be super open and honest about my feelings and what's going on in my head, so that there's no confusion anymore. And I feel like because he has something going on, but he still wants me to be in his life, it's more confusing. And so if you know anything, you know that the devil is the author of confusion. And I don't want to be confused anymore. And I feel like, and I keep saying I feel like my feelings really don't matter. Because what I have to do is not going to agree with how I'm feeling. And that's what I'm struggling with today. Because I'm talking about it right now, but I really want to sit here and cry about it. And I want to feel my feelings. Because losing someone that is alive hurts bad. Man.
days later.
Who made a mess? Who say, gotta do what you say. Walking at the fish. Pick up your cross and walk. Pick up your cross and walk. Pick up your cross and walk. Hey, he took the wood to the back. I took the wood out the back. Whoa, look. By the time I apply some more pressure.
Alright, so that's done. I haven't seen my hair like this in a really long time. So I'm glad the curls are still here. I'm glad the curls are still here. But yeah, I'm gonna get some do my edges real quick. I look like I just got back from a 90s gym.
I learned how to start a fire. I know how.
That means you're extra.